Hi, my name is Sam. I'm a marine biologist. I work on coral restoration, and I also co-founded Our Singapore Reef, which is a platform to really get people, like-minded people together to really save the ocean. So I have been diving for many years, I think about 13 years, but I actually get more into coral conservation when I'm in my job. When you look at the real impacts of coral reef, on marine debris or climate change, and that's when I feel like I should do something. So I think that started in 2017, where I actually dove a bit deeper into that. So for my job, I build and restore coral reef. So basically I grow corals and I put them back into the sea. So after you put them back into the sea, where you need a lot of effort and time to take care of them, to assess whether they are growing well or not, and also the success of how a coral reef restoration project is. It's not about just the corals growing well, but the different kind of marine life that's using the space to see whether it can eventually have that kind of ecological function where the coral reef that you built can provide shelter or food or even hiding spaces for marine life. Okay, so this is a very interesting story. So I think for us, when I really actually dive a lot more in Singapore waters, so you really see that kind of direct impact. Okay, so especially pollution. So when I go back to a place, we have to do reef survey. So every time we go back to a patch of reef, we have to go and survey the reef to see whether they have changed over time, right? So there's this one time where I was doing the same thing, going along the transect tape to look at the coral reef, and then in the middle of the transect, I saw a washing machine. Yeah, okay, and that kind of changed my whole perspective, like, oh my god, why is there a washing machine? What can we do about it? And the whole washing machine just damaged the whole patch of coral reef. So you just feel that kind of like, your heart just shattered into pieces, like the corals in front of you, like, oh no. And I feel that this is something that we can prevent. So even sometimes when we do coral transplantation, you are assessing the health and their growth, and you can see they can be injured or damaged by pieces of fishing lines, plastic bag covering on these corals, and that's like quite sad to see. So at Our Singapore Reef, so basically we create platforms for people to come together to either we dive together to clean up the reef, we do beach cleanup, or even create conversations on how we can really protect the environment. And we also do like workshop, full talks to actually get people involved and as an individual, how can they contribute. So the 1 Degree 15 Coral Garden was a project initiated by the Marina and then together with the National University of Singapore. So they wanted to create a coral garden right here at their own backyard. So this is, so we said yes. So we want to really work more together with different industry to create more safe space for marine life. And also I think this is a very good opportunity how it can bring people closer to marine conservation. So something interesting about this is we have the floating coral nursery where it's really installed along the pontoon. So even though you're not a diver, when you walk along the pontoon, you can see these corals growing and the whole process of coral restoration. So I think that is really built with the aim to getting people to learn more, to explore more about corals. For the coral garden, so what we do is we'll find corals that we call them corals of opportunity. So these coral pieces can be fragments that have fallen off from rocks, or we find them rolling around in the sand. So if we don't save them, they might be impacted, okay, or they might not live longer. So we save them and then we put them on this coral nursery for them to nurse themselves, and then once they are big enough, we can actually put them back into the seawall. So from here we want to create more spaces, so eventually it can become a coral garden. So we also bring dive volunteers. It can be members of the Marina, it can be members of the public, or even our Singapore Reef divers. So what we do is we'll come here and we'll clean the coral nursery. Okay, we need to keep them really clean. It's like gardening at home, you pull out all the weeds, but over here we have to get rid of all the algae so the corals can grow nicely, and also to document the marine biodiversity that is in the Marina itself. So there are different ways that we can look at that. So first thing is definitely the impact. So whether when you do reef surveys, are they going to be like, big things destroying it? Are they going to be fishing line, pollution? Another one is we have a coral chart, if it's gradient. Okay, so different colors, and it will tell us that, if the coral is bleaching or not. Okay, so now because of the climate change, right, if the corals are under stress, they can bleach. So if their bleach is not so good for the coral, so we have this little bar where we can actually see, rapidly assess the coral health. The darker the color, the healthier it is. So if the coral fades into different, into paler gradient, then we can have to keep an eye on it to see whether it could recover or not. Another thing to look at is predators. So sometimes there are animals that feed on coral reef. So we also have to see whether there's any infestation. So in Singapore, for example, there's this group of snails called Drupella that feed on coral. So if we see any kind of any snails, then we have to be cautious also. So corals are important because they are the basic building blocks of the whole marine ecosystem. And then they support different kind of marine animals by providing them with food, home and a shelter. And they're also very helpful to humans as well. So for some of our neighbors, they can actually form a natural barrier to break waves. Some of them have medicinal value, where doctors are actually looking into more research into how coral reef and some of the compounds that are found there can actually help humans. And they also provide a lot of jobs, right? So for Singapore especially, we are an island nation and this is part of our natural heritage. So if we don't protect them, we won't have them anymore. So over the years of all the land reclamation, development, we have lost 60% of our coral reef, and I think this is our chance to bring them back. I think one of the main threats that we have is coastal development, right? So you see every year Singapore is expanding spaces. So sometimes you can see there's different developments going on and they could call for a need for land reclamation. So when you do that, there's a lot of blue spaces being taken away and being replaced into land. And then also because a lot of constant work by the coastline, a lot of dredging, a huge machine going down, it results in our reef having a lot of, they're always in a chronic sedimented condition, right? So without light, access to light, corals cannot grow well. So this is something to really think about. So for us, our work also we are going to create more spaces. So even though we're taking a lot of blue spaces away, but we're also finding new places for corals to grow. So such as this marina as well, right? And then finding artificial seawalls, for example. If the structure is going to be there, how can we eco-engineer it so that it can be more functional rather just being a coastal defense structure? How can we make it more friendly for different marine animals to colonize? So through our work, we're also trying to find the best corals that can actually survive this whole changes. Yeah. Okay, so for me, I really enjoy diving, so it's not tiring for me. I just feel like it's really a kind of like, maybe the initial part, the most difficult part and the most tiring part is wearing your wetsuit and packing your gears. Yeah, but other than that, I think diving wise I really enjoy it, so I don't feel tired. I always look forward to the next dive. I think what really motivates me is the resilience of our coral reef. So sometimes you see they're impacted, bleaching, they're bleached, they're damaged, but somehow they still manage to, recover and still look so strong, right? And another thing is also our young people, which I think is also inspiring me a lot to want to do more for the environment. There's a lot of young groups, environmental groups coming up, and they are doing their own great initiative to protect the ocean. And that is very heartening, and I hope that continues so that we can see more of you guys doing more of the things, and we are always here to help. Oh my god, we don't have corals in Singapore. Okay, that's one. And Singapore's waters are so yucky that nothing can live under these waters. So this is something that we get a lot. But when you start exploring what we have, it's actually very interesting because we really have a lot of life underwater, right? So for instance, for Singapore's coral, we have recorded over 250 species. In the whole world, we have about 800. So in a small space like Singapore, we have 1/3 of the entire world's hard coral species. So it's actually quite amazing. So sometimes when we go there, and even diving in Singapore is also like treasure hunting, right? And it's fun to do that because you really don't know what you can find. And nowadays there's a lot of like rediscovery, we are discovering new species, and that really gives a lot of hope to the marine environment. Education and public outreach is actually very important to really help to channel some of these environmental issues into the wider public, right? In using different platforms. Okay, so something that we've been doing is a lot of public talks where we talk to the public about, why is there a need to conserve your coral, why is there a need to conserve the environment, because they are so important to us and it really plays a role. If nature will protect you if you protect them. Okay, and there's a lot of things that we can do to really save the environment, to make it a better place for them and us as well. And I think there's a lot of things that we can do as an education to forge that connectivity, people with nature, to understand that how we should all exist together. So I think for now, because of a lot of different research and coral restoration initiatives, you can see a lot more coral cover in places that we thought corals cannot even exist. So like artificial structures, like sea walls, you can see corals are coming back. You can see how they slowly evolve into a whole new ecosystem, bringing in different marine life that use that space as well. So it's actually getting more vibrant, I would say. So coral reefs are mainly found at the southern part of Singapore. So the northern side are still the mangrove. You have coral reef, coral patches, fringing reef, all at the southern areas. So the southern island is just right there. So St. John's Island, Kusu Island. So we even have our own marine park called Sisters Islands Marine Park. So it's going to be quite exciting. It's opening soon, and I hope you all will bring your friends there to explore that area. We have marine life. Do you know that we have sharks, we have dolphins, and we also have turtles in Singapore's water? So it's really something that, let's say, scientists are also trying to find where are they. So if you happen to spot these marine animals, you can actually take pictures and send us. I think the first thing that you can all do is to go out and explore. Right? It's something very easy. Even though you're not a diver, you can go to the low tide, intertidal to really see our neighbors, right? Which other marine life or what kind of marine animals can we find at this space? So take pictures of them so you can share with your friends and find out more information about them. Because whatever you don't know how to protect, right? This is something that you can do. So you can turn that into a nice friends outing, family outing. And then, through that, hopefully you can get that gateway into marine conservation. And slowly, if you can volunteer your time with different organizations that are doing good things. You have people doing beach cleanup, you have people doing workshop, or you have people doing dive cleanup. You can always channel your energy into that and your time to really save this marine conservation, marine animal.